Hi, my name is John Hall, and I'm the director of Mission Central. And we're talking today with Crystal Lavallee. And Crystal, you want to say hi and tell us about yourself?
I sure do. Hi, John. Hi,
Hi,
everybody.
Crystal.
And hi, everybody else. I was born in Calgary, but then I moved to Ontario when I was young. My parents made that move. And, right now I'm just steward two containers really well, First People's Voices, and I am compelled and I am loving it.
Sorry, what was the second ministry that you're involved with?
Yeah, it's I am compelled in First People's Voices.
Okay, awesome. Good. Can you tell us what they do?
Yeah, I sure can, John. So they
Thank you.
usually I'm on the other side. Usually I'm the one asking the questions. So First People's Voices is an initiative that Crossroads 100 Huntley Street started a couple years ago to give a spot at the table for First Nation, Métis, and Inuit faith stories. And so they basically told me, find the stories and fight for your spot on air. So that's what I've been doing, championing Indigenous voices in Canada. And then the other container that I operate is I Am Compelled, which is a registered educational charity that I founded, I think it's 7 years ago. And
Wow.
we take young people and we go into the schools doing theater shows about Canadian heritage and heroes. And lots of young people just want to come use their gifts to serve. So whether it's acting, hip hop, dance, just really livens the show and engages students in education.
That's awesome. And so do you take that all across Canada?
We do. Yeah. When we started, we actually had, oh man, if you ever start anything, the humble beginnings. We had two actors, both were 13 years of age. We had a screen with media and we just stood in front of kids and did this simple show that we look back and we're so embarrassed about now. But it's what we had. We started off with what we had.
Is
And
it on YouTube?
no, it is not
Oh.
on YouTube. That show is not on YouTube. There's a reason for these things. Maybe we should put it up. That would be cool. But they have. We went to Winnipeg. Was our first launch. Was right in the heart of Canada. We went to Alberta. We were on the reserves in the schools. We've gone across Quebec onto the reserves in Quebec, and then all across Ontario, of course, and Saskatchewan as well.
Cool. That's exciting. So I want to ask a question related to the um, First Nations. Sorry, remind me again of the name of the ministry. First Nations Voices.
First People's
First
Voices.
People's Voices. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Um, uh, what is God doing among the First Peoples in Canada?
So what people don't know is that there is a hunger for the realms of the spirit. Indigenous people, we are, myself included, because I'm Métis, we are, there's a propensity to be inclined to the deeper realm of the spirit, just because of the connectivity to the land and being out in nature and just living very basic. And so what we're seeing in First People's Voices is the outreach ambassador, whose name is Bev Hadland. She, all of last year, she gave out 1,400 Indigenous Bibles that get shipped out of Winnipeg. But in the last couple weeks, she has sent out 1,400 Bibles. So all of last year, 1,400. In the last couple of weeks, people are asking because there's so many salvations. There's deep realms of prayer that are taking place among the Indigenous people, the ones that we're connected to.
Hmm.
There are frontline workers who are not afraid of the virus. The virus is afraid of them. So we're just seeing unity. I mean, the young people, this one guy, I love this guy. He's 16 years old out in Saskatchewan. He just decided, hey, I want to help the weak during this time. I'm going to get a Zoom account and I'm going to invite as many young people on my Zoom account as possible. Crystal, can you come and share? And I said, all right, I'm going back to my youth pastor days. I said, maybe this is my calling. And so just watching young people come to know God because they they're in a place of uncertainty, and they just keep reaching out.
Mm.
Whoever, they're stable, and those stables are actually leading people to Jesus, to the King of Kings and to the Prince of Peace. So it's really neat.
Wow, that is really good. Um, so I just have a tangent
Sure.
question. The the Bibles are if a First Nation wanted to get a Bible uh, in their language, is that possible in Canada? Are Bibles being produced in First Nation languages?
Well, so just to give you a little bit of background, there are 634 First Nation reserves across Canada, which doesn't include Métis settlements
Uh-huh.
and Inuit communities. So within every nation, you have your own language, your own governance, and even though you may be Cree, and then Cree, there's 4 different variations of Cree: Swampy Cree, Plains Cree. So to get a Bible in your language, if you're not more of the predominant language that the Bible societies or the different Bible organizations have produced, it could be difficult depending on where you are, because even northern BC, which is where you guys are based in BC, northern BC has languages that I haven't even heard of.
Mm.
But there is the Indigenous Bible that is written in a language that is connectivity to the Creator. And so that's the Bible that Bev has been shipping out the most. It's the number one. It's big print. It's easy to understand. And it's in vernacular that they would connect to, most connect to the most.
Wow, that's very cool.
Mm-hmm.
So I have one more question for you, and I am really curious to find out what motivates you to follow Christ in the mission. Like, what was it that kind of tipped you over the edge to follow Jesus
Mm-hmm.
at
So
into ministry? Yeah.
into ministry. Okay, great question. Um, it's kind of like, where do you start, Um, as far as ministry goes, like I know ever since I was a little girl, my mom always tells me this, that I had a propensity for God. I
Mm.
just loved God. I walked around talking about the nations. Like, Mom, I'm going to the nations. I'm going to the nations. And my mom's like, yes, dear. Um, and I think because there was elements of your upbringing that were broken, very broken, instead of finding an outlet, drugs or alcohol or relationships, I didn't go that route. I had discovered, one of the first people who prayed with me, when they prayed for me, they put their hand on my stomach and I felt blue electricity. I saw blue electricity and I could feel it in my belly. And for me, that was enough. I didn't need to go anywhere else, because I said, there's something here that's really tangible and real. And holding on to that and just building that relationship from when I was a kid into even after graduating high school, went to a unconventional Bible college, which was just hands-on ministry training, and just found out, how to walk in intimacy with Christ. And from there, I think I just stayed faithful to whatever he gave me. And if it was little, I just did well with the little, and then he gave me more, or he opened up another door, or he opened up another opportunity, or he opened up, an opportunity to work with people who would die for the chance to work for these people. And in my mind, I just kept thinking, God, this is so cool that you're just leading my steps. But ultimately, John, it just comes down to a heart for people. I just love people. I love humanity. And I love you if you are drunk and high and you show up to a church meeting. I love you if I'm on my way to the grocery store and you are homeless on the street and I have whatever I have in my hands. Here you go. I just love people. That's all.
You sound like an extrovert.
I am an
COVID-19 must be killing you.
I'm an outgoing introvert.
Oh, really?
Yeah, is that a thing?
It is now.
I just made it up. I mean, when you're on the road, last year we did 50 planes. I was on 50 planes all of last year between the different initiatives that I work on. And going into 2020, I'm like, Lord, I'm tired. So, I mean, I enjoy study and personal development. So I'm just living it up, knowing that this slow season is just a setup for another busy one. So I'm just taking in as much as I possibly can.
That is awesome. Well, thanks so much, Crystal, for sharing with us. It's really good to see you. And I just pray that you are filled up, because I'm excited. I mean, here you are saying, we should anticipate something really spectacular on the other side of this, and I'm feeling it too. I think that God is up to something. Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think he's up to? Am I allowed to ask the questions now?
Well, I feel for sure that one of the things that God is doing in the middle of COVID-19 is he's refocusing the church on prayer. And just at a very basic level, we don't pray enough. And so I'm asking God every day just to show me what it means to pray the way that I should pray, um, to really stand in a place of expectation for God to move powerfully, and I'd like to see that restored to the church. I'd love to see the church come into a place where they're just so expectant that God is going to move, that there is um, a reality to that spiritual life. Yeah.
Come on. Did you know? I'm just going to say this one thing.
Yeah.
So that's the number one thing that I feel God is saying to me in this time is you need to up your prayer. You need to up your, and then I was talking to a friend about it, and he said he heard this quote that the ultimate arrogance is prayerlessness.
Wow.
And God is looking for us to lean on and depend on him, because the other verse I felt in my heart was, if you humble yourself under God's mighty hand, he will raise you up. But the ultimate arrogance is prayerlessness. And so I've just been praying before I go to bed, praying when I wake up, and I'm half coherent. Lord, where are you? You morning people, I don't understand you. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks,
Yeah.
Crystal. We'll talk to you soon.
You're welcome.